The Wellbeing Radio app brings you fast and easy access to all of our content. Users can enjoy expert opinions, talk shows, relaxation music, mindfulness, meditations, and so much more. Our app has exclusive content including competitions, courses, and access to our founders' innovative Yoga Nidra sound journey, fused with binaural beats. Download the app now, available on iOS and Android. Wellbeing Radio, audio for mind, body, and soul.
Hey, this is Iona Russell, your personal freedom activator here with Shine On Wellbeing Radio, audio for mind, body, and soul, where we're sharing real talk tips and techniques for modern mindset shifts for personal and spiritual and professional growth. And there's no fluff, no BS. You get to activate freedom from within your soul so you can live a life of purpose and live your legacy now. Yeah, and without the fluffy BS. And today, I'm going to be talking about finding your joy, which I touched on in the previous about 5 or 6 episodes as we were covering the 5 portals to inspired success, which is my go-to program that I created. And so I'd like to ask you, are you joyful? Are you having fun? Are you playing? Because as adults, we kind of get stuck with adulting, quite frankly. I don't know about you, but sometimes I get so caught up in the things I need to do, should do, that I kind of forget to just pause and have some friggin' fun and laugh and just let go and let it be easy. So how many of you also get caught in the language of I have to, I've got to do this, I should do this, and those are the things we're paying attention to, and they sort of start like dampening our enthusiasm, and everything becomes a chore. So bear with me, because I know I said today we're going to be talking about joy, but I want to help you flip your language. So when you catch yourself or start to become aware of using language like, oh, I always do this and all that, I ask you to flip it and say, I get to. Or when you catch yourself saying, well, I'm always doing that, or that's where I go wrong, it's up until now. So those are 2 little verbal mindset shift flips. I get to, and up until now. And it just means that whatever it is we're doing, even if it is something that, must be done as part of adulting, quite frankly, but just shifting the energy, the focus we put on it, I get to. Up until now, it becomes, it's less heavy, and it kind of raises the vibration of how we're coming at it. Just try it. I mean, let's use a simple example. I have to clean up the kitchen. It's like, well, I get to clean up the kitchen so that it's sparkly and it's lovely to look at because I like that. And so it becomes more joyful. So that's a nice segue into finding our joy. Because we get to use our language and our perception of what's happening around us to raise the vibration without actually doing much, just changing the way we're thinking about it, talking about it, responding to it starts to shift. And we start coming up the law of attraction, the vibrational emotional chart. And you can Google that up and you can find it online. And I've even got it in a link to it from my book. My book being the Making Waves one. And yeah, it's like coming from a place of joy, happiness, love, laughter. I mean, just those words alone, just make you feel good. And who doesn't want to embody them? And there's a great wee quote by, excuse me if I mispronounce his name, Thich Nhat Hanh. Sometimes your joy is the source of your smile. And sometimes your smile is the source of your joy. Oh, I love that. And so for me, it's changing our perspective. So if we come towards something from a place of peace, of joy, of acceptance, of happiness, then it just makes it doable, more enjoyable. And this next process that I really want to share with you today is about getting joyful about our life. The secret to joy also is curiosity. Curiosity. When was the last time you were curious about life? And we see children excited and curious all the time, exploring, going on adventures, and they just, when we look at children, they have big eyes of wonder as they're going about their day. When did we lose that? And so we get to choose to have that again. We get to choose to come from a place of joy. And that's why I'm like, let's play, have some fun. Like, seriously, have some fun. When was the last time you just did something silly for the sake of doing something silly? And it can be that simple, like a silly dance. Oh my gosh, dancing's another beautiful way to do it. Like, it really shifts the energy. Like, if you're feeling resistance to doing something, or you're feeling a bit run down or exhausted, and this, turn on like your favorite dance track, or find a new track and just dance like nobody's watching. And it moves the energy, it inspires you. And all the better if it makes you laugh as you're being silly as silly can be. I mean, how many times have we, you see a child spinning in the garden, or you're out in, a public garden near you, and children will spin in circles just for the pure joy of it. That's what I'm inviting you to explore. Have fun, play, and be curious, because we're so serious in life. And, happiness is an inside job. And so we get to choose to show up this way. We get to bring that to the table in our relationships, and all our relationships, personal and professional, and with strangers, just to smile. I mean, goodness knows what's happening as so many people in the world are having to wear masks, and who knows what will be happening. I mean, it changes day in, day out. But we can smile with our eyes. Like, we don't need to always see somebody's actual smile. You can smile with your eyes. We've all had those people that you meet and they've got a twinkle in their eye. And even if you can't see that they're smiling, you can tell that there's that twinkle. There's a vibrancy that comes from it. You're like, ooh, I want to talk to them, or I wonder what's going on with them. They just are giving off a vibe of joy, happiness, and those are the people we're drawn to and we want to be around. So when we come back after the break, I'm going to talk to you about a joy exercise that I work with my clients. And it's particularly good for anyone who feels they're not feeling excited about life, they're not feeling joyful, and they're not curious, or maybe just not feeling happy. And this works for you even if you are all those things. It just brings more to the table for you. So let's go and listen to a song called To Me That's Alright by Melody featuring Little June.
The sky is blue, the sun is high, sitting here on my own. I think of you, you're on my mind, To me that's alright, green grass on my neighbor's lawn. Maybe I should take a stroll, and to me that's alright. To me, that's alright. I spend my days just dreaming about you. Well, now that's just what I will do. I'm telling you, the sky is blue, the sun is high. I'm sitting here on my own. I think of you, you're on my mind, To me that's alright. Green grass on my neighbor's lawn. Maybe I should take a stroll, come to me, that's alright. You know, to me, that's alright. You know, to me, that's alright.
Hey, and welcome back. So, what brings you joy? In the break, while you were listening to the song, did anything come to mind that brings you joy? You know, it can be the simple things in life, like a walk in the sunshine, hearing somebody laugh, breathing deeply by the ocean. It doesn't need to be an extreme adventure sport. I mean, if it's skydiving, that's brilliant. Put that, keep that in mind. It could also be playing a board game. You know, what brings you joy? And you get to follow your joy. Because if what you're doing doesn't light you up, if you're not doing something every day that lights your soul on fire, then stop it. Stop doing those things that are dampening your spirit, dimming your light. Do what lights you up. Do what inspires you. And also try something you've always wondered about, something that you're curious, and follow that curiosity. You just might be surprised where it leads. And find your limits and push through them to joy. Because sometimes we're curious about something, and let's say skydiving again, since I've already mentioned that. Sometimes we're curious about something, but we're scared to try it. Why? Obviously, some people could argue that jumping out of a plane is completely irrational. Why would you do that? I mean, I did it, when was that? Back in 1991 or 92 when I was living in Hawaii. And I loved it. It was that exhilaration. So things don't have to be that extreme is what I'm trying to say. But it can be. You can be curious about that. So don't let fear hold you back. Let curiosity draw you forward, so that you're becoming the person that goes towards your joy, goes towards adventure and curiosity. I mean, doesn't that kind of life sound fun? And so in my book, Making Waves, on page 51, is the exercise that I said I was going to share with you before we went into the break. And what you need to do is you get a piece of A4 paper. I mean, it's just an example. You can use something else if you like. Get a piece of A4 paper, fold it in half, and on one side, make a list of all the things you enjoy doing, like that you've ever enjoyed doing. So it can be something from back when you were 16. It could be something from when you were in your 20s. And if you can't remember anything that you've enjoyed doing or that you've ever enjoyed doing, just sit with it for a while. Kind of work your way backwards. What did I enjoy doing last year? Or break it up into chunks of time, or when you were traveling, what did you enjoy then? Or break it up into seasons of just going back. Anything that starts to open and unfold your memory of what have you enjoyed doing. It could be making daisy chains, rolling down a hill, playing on the swings. It could be walking up a Monroe, learning to surf. It could be sitting under a tree, enjoying a sunrise. Anything that brings you joy. And if you find joy, if joy to you is too high, if you think it needs to be excessive, then anything that made you happy, made you laugh. Oh my gosh, those belly laughs. Oh, I love belly laughs. Hearing other people have a belly laugh makes me happy, because you can't help but laugh and smile. And, laughter is contagious. Joy is contagious. When somebody's coming from that pure heart energy, joy and laughter and happiness are contagious. And so you've got all those on one side, and then on the other side of your list, I want you to write things that you're curious about. It's maybe things that you've thought of trying, but you never have, or it's something that you think you'll put off. One day I'll do that. Or maybe it's something that you're just really nervous about doing. Put it on there too. It could be even something curious about traveling to the Mauritius, the Seychelles. It could be you're curious about going to some part of the country. Like for me, I want to go back to Glastonbury. I haven't been there since I was about 9 years old. Oh gosh, I'm about to turn 50. So it can be anything. Or learning to crochet, learning a language, anything you're curious about. And this list is like you get to add to it continuously, adding and adding and adding. There's no limit to this. And this is the juicy bit, and this is where you get to make it as part of your day. You get to choose one thing. You can choose more than one thing, but what I want you to do is I want you to choose something from your joy list, from one or both sides every single day. And you may find that you're doing something that was on your joy list that's always been fun or brought you joy. You may not enjoy it anymore. Or there may be something that was so silly and you're reluctant to try it, but you do it because it's on there because it's something that once made you happy. Maybe rolling down a hill, playing on the swings, and you do that and you're like, wow, I feel carefree. I feel like a child again. And then the stuff that's on your curious list, like let's say, because I mentioned like traveling to the Mauritius, it doesn't mean you're going to jump on a plane today or tomorrow and do it, but you can start to explore. Why do you want to go there? Where would you stay? Maybe it's your dream holiday destination and you want to start saving for it. It doesn't matter. Or maybe so it's not something that you have to enact now, but you start taking baby steps towards doing it. You start exploring it because you're curious. It's like when you want to learn something or do something, you just start looking into it. Don't just shut it off as a possibility that you'll never do it. You'll never get around to it. Everything is a possibility. Everything. And you might have something on the curious side of your list that you try and you're like, oh my gosh, that was a walking disaster. It's like me if I wanted to take dance lessons. I have 2 left feet. I have no rhythm, like seriously. So I'm sure it would be a disaster. But if that was something I wanted to do, then yeah, go and try it. It doesn't matter. The whole point is it's about being carefree and trying things just for the fun of it. And you never know who you meet. You never know what this will lead to. Because remember when we talked about 2 episodes ago, we were talking about the breadcrumbs. Following the breadcrumbs, you never know where this will lead. Oh, actually, I think we started calling it, instead of breadcrumbs, cake crumbs. You never know where this will lead. And that's what's joyful. And that just makes you feel good, vibrant, something to look forward to. And the more we do this, the more we start to enjoy life. Because it doesn't mean we have to stay on that high the whole time. Because yes, life goes up and down. We're human. And some days, we've talked about it, releasing the suck. Some days, are just a little bit suckier than others. But having this joy list to turn to add to explore, that's when you get to come from a place of joy and from a place of joy and abundance and love. And really being in this place of love, in that higher frequency of love, everything is just easier. And so when we get those down days, because down days do suck, I'm not trying to say they don't, but we don't stay there. Recovery from those becomes easier the more we start to have these adventures we're going to explore. Our joyness, be curious. And as I've shared before, my gremlin has been depression. I've got a closet full of gremlins, and I will start to share my gremlins with you because, we've all had challenges we've overcome and the lessons in them, and I get to use those lessons. And actually this joy exercise that I've shared with you is something I pretty much give all the people I come across in workshops and in client sessions one-on-one, because you never know. It's what's relevant for each person. So obviously some people maybe don't need this. They're already feeling that they're joyful all the time and they just need new directions. But it's interesting what you can do when you have a list of things to try, things you're curious about, and have fun and be joyful. And so that's all I've got to say for today. So if you want to find out more about working with me or find out about my online workshops, or actually even in person, you can catch up with me at ionarussell.com. And also I'm on the usual platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and you can email me at iona@wellbeingradio.co.uk. So from my heart to yours, let's go, let's live it, let's have some fun and some joy. Shine on and shine bright, beautiful people.
Wellbeing Radio, audio for mind, body and soul. Online, on demand, on the go. Make sure you visit our website, wellbeingradio.co.uk.